Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at KTALnews.com. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces, and this is a busy Friday morning forecast update for you as we'll stay warm near record highs through the weekend. In fact, we could see some record highs tied or broken today as we'll top out in the low to mid 80s. That warm weather will continue for the weekend, and then next week we are watching for several days of rainfall, which is frankly good news for us as our drought conditions have worsened. The drought update yesterday, not a pretty picture for us, so we'll get to that in just a moment here, but your temperatures today will likely wind up in the low to mid 80s. Same temperatures as yesterday. We didn't break any records yesterday, but the records are breakable today as most of us are seeing the record high in about 85, 86 degrees. So we may even break that in a few locations. We're running pretty warm this morning for this time of the year. It's 50s and low 60s, which considered to be just a cool and comfortable morning here, but we're similar numbers to yesterday, so I do expect we'll break into the 80s this afternoon. It's just a question of whether we'll tie that record or not. I have Shreveport going up to 84 today and about 83 for Texarkana. Texarkana, the record is 86 degrees, and I think that may be achievable there, just depending on how quickly we warm up. We'll likely have mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, so we should have enough sun and enough wind out there to warm these temperatures up. It is a south wind, about 10 miles per hour today. The wind will be just slightly higher than yesterday, and sometimes it will be breezy through the weekend, but that south wind really helps to drive up the temperatures, so that's why I think 85 or 86 will be achievable for at least a few areas today. So mostly sunny to partly cloudy. There's no rain expected today or through the weekend, but we'll see just a few of those clouds drift through at times today. And again, that south wind at about 10 miles per hour. So water conditions should be just fine today, but we may have more breezy conditions tomorrow, which may bring a little chop out on the waterways over the weekend. You can see some of the clouds rolling back in tonight, tomorrow morning. If you're headed out to the football fields, we have had a run of amazing Fridays here, and that continues tonight as well. We should have kickoff temperatures for the games right around 70 and then just slowly dropping through the 60s. May want to take some long sleeves just to be on the safe side here. I wouldn't call it a cold night by any stretch of the imagination, but it may be cool out there. So the drought update from yesterday, we did see this area of severe drought expand in Texas and pop up on the map here near Natchitoches, and the moderate drought expanded between I-20 and I-30. Of course, that's where we have a lot of our agricultural land here, so we could really use some rainfall. It is on the way next week, and you can see the map really lighting up now. This will take us through next Thursday as far as the weather prediction 7-day rainfall map, and they're now highlighting about 3 to 4 inches of rain across most of the region here, maybe a corridor here north of I-30 where we could see a good 4 to 6 inches of rain as well. So it's a needed rain at this point, but maybe quite heavy at times as we go into next week. So while we're watching, you have this large area of low pressure. We'll pick things up on Monday here. We'll likely be dry early next week. I can't rule out maybe just a few scattered showers by Tuesday, but by Wednesday that should be our first push of heavier rain coming in with the warm front there on Wednesday. You can see that area of low pressure just kind of moving at a snail's pace here. That will trigger more storms. That will likely affect us sometime in the Thursday to Friday time frame, and we'll have to watch that. The way this storm system is kind of oriented late next week, if it comes through looking like that, there would be the potential to see some severe weather maybe somewhere in that Wednesday to Friday time frame. Of course, we'll be able to narrow that down and get you some of the specifics, but it is the setup we'll need to watch next week, especially with the temperatures staying in the 70s and 80s next week as well. Eventually the rain will cool us down, but hoping we do see some improvements by next weekend. Of course, next weekend is our first big travel weekend ahead of Thanksgiving there, but it looks like most of the rain will likely wrap up by next weekend. Until then, just warm and dry through at least Tuesday afternoon. Again, Tuesday night into Wednesday is when we'll see that first push of rain make its way back in. Overnight lows will just kind of stay here in the 50s and 60s with highs in the 70s and 80s through the end of next week.